Hello everyone. So in this lecture we are going to see what are the different offerings from the cloud providers in context of service models. So we'll be going to discuss a few offerings from Microsoft Azure and from Amazon, that is AWS, Amazon Web Services. So we'll see these offering in context of the different service model, that is SaaS, PaaS and IaaS. So let's start. So let us first understand what exactly the cloud offers to us, means the benefits that we get about all these service models. So we'll go one by one. So now this is something which is applicable to all kind of service offerings. Either you talk of the SaaS or PaaS or IaaS. In general, we are getting benefit of all these things that we are going to see in this slide. So the very first thing is ongoing cost. So ongoing cost basically means pay as you go pricing model, which requires no upfront expenses or long-term commitment. This is the advantage of using the cloud service models. The next is instant elasticity and flexible capacity. This basically refers to scaling up and down, and it basically eliminates guessing about the structure or the capacity that is required to run your business. So there is no need to make a guess about the infrastructure which may be required to fulfill the customer needs. You can simply take the cloud services and you will get a flexibility of scaling up and down, so based on the customer traffic. The next is speed and agility. So speed and agility basically allows the customer to develop and deploy applications faster. Now instead of waiting the weeks or month time to procure the hardware to arrive at the company location and to install all these things to get started with the business, you can directly go to the cloud and configure your hardware as per your requirement, and it will be in a very faster way. The next is apps not ops. Now apps not ops basically allows the consumers to focus on the project. It will make the consumer to free from all the data center investment and allow them to focus on the project and come up with new innovative ideas to expand their business. Then the next is a global reach. Global reach is again one of the benefit or the offerings of the cloud, because the cloud is services are globally available, so you can run or make your business reachable throughout the globe in a very few time. Then we have open and flexible. It basically allows the consumer, the programmer, the IT team developing a platform or the programmable tool that allow them to uh, develop applications that can make more sense to expand their business. Then the next is secure. And this may also be one of the offerings, but there is a kind of trade-off. We need to take this as an advantage and disadvantage. So on the advantage part, it basically allows the application to take advantage of the multiple layers of operational and physical security on the cloud. It also ensure a kind of integrity and safety of your data into the cloud infrastructure. So these are the major offerings from all the cloud providers in general. Now we will see one by one that what exactly these three different service models offered by Azure. So these are the some services offered at the Microsoft Azure cloud model. So you can see these are all the services offered by the Azure, and we have categorized this as a IaaS service, PaaS service and the SaaS service. So starting from the SaaS, these are the very familiar, like Outlook email and the calendar services, Microsoft Office 365. So these are the applications or the services that is offered as a software as a service, where one can subscribe to these services and get their work done without taking care or without caring to develop this services itself. Then we have a pass. So in the past we have seen that it's a kind of development environment where a customer can develop their application and can control the application and data as well. There's an opportunity to customize the application as per the business requirement. So these are the few names which are offered by Azure as a PaaS, which is Azure App Service, Azure SQL Database, Cosmos DB, Synapse Analytics. So these are some fundamentals and very popular platform as a services offered by Azure. Then we have IaaS. Now the most popular services as an IaaS from the Azure is the Azure Virtual Machine. The same thing is offered by the Amazon Web Services with the name of EC2 that we will see later. EC2 is again a provision to configure your virtual machine on the cloud. So Azure allows the users to configure their own virtual machine as per the requirement. They can install their required software. They can install all the kind of graphic cards, the memory requirement. They can configure everything which is actually needed for the business and the application to run on these servers. Then Azure Storage Accounts, again the one of the popular IaaS services provided by the Azure. So these are the few services which are offered by Azure. So at this point of time, you need to simply remember that these are some services offered by these popular cloud providers, and we will also have some hands-on experience on to these services to have a feel that what exactly they do and how it looks like. So this is Amazon Web Services Universe, and we know that Amazon is also providing these services in the form of three models like IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So all this. So first have a look at how the Amazon services can be utilized. So you need to create an Amazon account there, and with that you can make use of cross service features that is basically equivalent to SaaS. You can say this is a SaaS offering from the AWS. Then it also offers platform services and the infrastructure services. So these are the three services that is offered by the Amazon. Then you can see that if you want to utilize any of the service, or if you want to make use of any of these service models, then you must be having an account with the AWS, and then there are three different mechanisms by which we can make use of these offerings. So the very first thing is CLI, that is a command line interface. That means this is basically preferred by the programmers or the developers who can write the commands and get their work done on any of the three service models. Then there are different tools are also available that actually provide these services. Many tools are available on the Amazon console, where you can use these tools and get your work done. Then there is a console. So console is a kind of environment where it's a graphical based, where you can see all the services available, and you can avail whatever you want. So these are the three way where the user can interact and avail these services offered by the AWS. Then these are very common services offered by AWS, which are termed as infrastructure services, that is a IaaS, infrastructure services. So the most common is a EC2. This is very much equivalent to the virtual machine which is offered by the Azure. So EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Compute. Elastic Cloud compute. So here we have E and 2 times U, that we call it as EC2 service in a short form. So this is basically a provision from the AWS to configure your own server on the cloud. So we'll see later that how to configure the server. And then there is a VPC. VPC is stands for virtual private cloud. So basically it allows to create a virtual network which are dedicated to your AWS account. It is logically isolated from other virtual networks in the cloud. You have a provision. You can specify the IP addresses range for your virtual cloud. You can add subnets. You can associate security groups and configure the routing table. So we have all the provision to create our entire subnet as per our design and the requirement on onto the cloud through this VPC. Then we have something called S3. This stands for uh, simple storage service. So S3 is a simple storage service. This is basically an object storage services provided by the AWS. So you can opt this S3 as kind of thing to store and retrieve any amount of data at any point of time from anywhere. Then we have EBS. It basically represents Elastic Block Store. It provides a block level storage volume that is used with the EC2 instances. You can further create a file system on the top of these volumes. So these are the most popular services which are termed as an infrastructure as a service offered by the AWS. Then we have platform services, that is PaaS. We call it as a platform as a service. So these are the popular PaaS offered from the AWS. The among the popular is one is called Elastic MapReduce. So Elastic MapReduce is also known as EMR services offered by the AWS. It's very popular. It is basically a managed cluster platform that simplifies running a big data framework such as Apache Hadoop, Apache Spark. It also allows to process and analyze a huge amount of data on the clouds. So if you are going with big data or analyzing some data, you need to avail this service, Elastic MapReduce. Then the next popular service as a PaaS is RDS. So this is basically a relational database service that allows a user to make easy to set up the database, and it will give a provision to operate and scale these relational database on the cloud in a very simplified way. Then we have DynamoDB is again very popular in the AWS as a PaaS service. So this Amazon DynamoDB is a fully managed, it's basically a serverless key value non-SQL database, which is basically designed to run high performance application at any scale on the clouds. Then we have Elastic Beanstalk. This EBS, Elastic Beanstalk, is basically orchestration service which is offered by the AWS for deploying the application. Basically orchestrates various services onto the cloud. It will also, it's a kind of easy to use environment for deploying and scaling the web application and services which are developed with any framework. It may be in Java, .NET, PHP, Node.js, Python, Ruby. So these are the popular PaaS services from the Amazon. Then if we look to the cross service features offered by the Amazon, is one among them is SWS. SWF is basically a simple workflow service that allows to build the application that coordinate work across distributed components. Then we have CloudWatch. CloudWatch is basically you can say it's a metric repository. That means it allows to monitor and manage the services that provides a very useful insight of of the AWS, means how you are using these services for your business, and it will allow you to make very meaningful predictions and suggestions that can uh, make your business more efficient, and also you are able to utilize these services in a better way that can improve your budget. So this is the cross service features from the AWS. So far we have seen the three models named as SaaS, PaaS, and the IaaS. These are the three popular models that we have seen so far. Now there is something new which is called XaaS. Now X is here stands for everything else. So now we have understood, and you will also realize that cloud is something which is not new. It is already been accepted by many of the business peoples. We have identified the potential that the cloud can give to run the business efficiently and can grow globally in a very short time. So all the many of the services are actually offered onto the cloud. For example, if you want to talk about handling a database, if you want to build any blockchain application, so we have a blockchain as a service. If you want to develop any IoT application, then we have a IoT as a service. So we are we are actually finding almost everything which actually needs for that in the today's world to run any business, and all these services are offered on the cloud, and we are categorizing them as a XaaS. So this is referring as everything as a service, so we are calling it XaaS or IaaS or IaaS. So this basically refers to being able to provide and use fine-grained and usable components over the internet. So for example, we have a database as a service, we have communication as a service, we have mobile application as a service. So all the things that actually we find in our day-to-day life for doing a different kind of businesses are actually available onto the cloud as a service, and we are keeping all this in a category of XaaS or IaaS, that is everything as a service. So now I quickly summarize what exactly we have learned so far, that what exactly is a SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. So how do we identify that it is a SaaS? If we have to identify that it's a SaaS service or a PaaS or IaaS, then what is a kind of thing that we need to see? So we can see if the application is hosted on a remote server to which the customer is given the access through the web-based connectivity, then it is likely to be a SaaS. So we have services that is actually running on the remote machines, and you are simply using it. You are not configuring it. You are not managing it. Then it is a SaaS service you are using from the cloud. Now, when we are going to choose this kind of service, so basically in the SaaS, everything is managed from the centralized location on a cloud platform by your service provider. That is a service that is your cloud service provider. So when we prefer to choose this kind of service, so we can choose this model if we don't want to take burden of managing the IT infrastructure as well as the platform, as well as we don't want to build the application also, then we can go for this kind of services. We can simply make the enjoy the ready-made services available on the cloud and get our job done. Then second is a platform as a service. So how to identify that it's a PaaS? So if it is a scenario given to you that you are using a cloud services that help you to develop your application, test your application, deploy your application, then it is a PaaS service you are using. And when we prefer to use it, it is actually more suited if you want to create your application but do not need to maintain the supporting architecture. You are not caring to maintain the platform on which you are actually developing your application. So PaaS basically provides a developer a kind of freedom to build highly customized application, and it provides all the tools and things that is used for development without caring for the base architecture that actually runs these applications. Then we have IaaS. So in the case of EAS, so the scenario is if you have all the resources available as a service, uh, you have realized that the cost of operation is relative to your consumption, and you want the complete control over the infrastructure, then it is definitely you want the yes, that is the infrastructure service. So when it is actually used, so this is basically opted when there is any company who are looking for the hardware and software, and they don't have that much budget to invest, and they don't have that much time to procure all the hardware and set up the data center. So in that case they can go for EAS. So the benefit of the EAS that the company can enjoy is that there is no need to commit on any specific hardware or software, but the company can enjoy the freedom of scaling up and down as per the customer requirement anytime and from any place. To conclude, whatever the model you will choose out of these three, it all depends on the business needs and the resources that is available with the company, and also the IT staff available with the company that can manage the resources. So you can say irrespective of whatever the model the company can choose, they can be getting cost advantage, they're getting the flexibility, they're getting a kind of expert feedback from the cloud, because at the cloud we have different tools are there that can also guide to make the maximum utilization of the resources which are available on the cloud, and you can smartly manage your budget onto this resources, and it will also allow you to focus on the business logic, on the business strategies, rather on or worrying about the infrastructure that required to run any business. Now, the choice of service model is basically also depends on the level of control you want on the infrastructures and the application. Like in the SaaS, there is no control. PaaS, you have some control, and EAS, you have the maximum control on the resources, on the infrastructure, on the application. So finally, depending on the need of your business, on your budget, you are going to select a model that can suits to your requirement, but it will definitely require a very careful evaluation and the benefit that the cloud offers to your business. So finally, how to choose the three models for your company, for your organization. So again, as we have discussed that it all depends on the company requirement. You will be using a different kind of service model. So the size of the organization basically can help you to determine that which model will be going to fit for your business requirement. So if the company is a kind of small size company is there with limited resources, then SaaS may be a good option for you, because you have no provision to develop your own application, you have no infrastructure. So it is better to look for the offerings from the cloud. Means you can go for the ready-made software which are available, that can be used and can be integrated into your business to make your business more productive. If your organization is like a medium to large organization with having some resources, then you can go with the PaaS. So if there are medium and large businesses which can also having their IT departments within the company, they can consider platform as service may be a good option for them, because they may not have all the resources which is required to run a successful business, but because they are having the IT cell, the developers and programmers are there, so they can rent online platform onto the cloud where the developers and programmers can develop their own application, they can deploy their own application, and can enjoy the benefit of the PaaS services. Then if it is a large organization with a kind of moderate resources if they are having, In that case, the IaaS will be the good option for the company. With the IaaS, they are having a high level of control, and with this complete control, the IaaS provides the company to create highly customized kind of technology stacks as per the organization specific requirements. So this is just a theoretical kind of understanding of how we can proceed to different kind of models for our organization. But you need to have a very good understanding of your business, what exactly your business offers to the customer, and along with that you need to also understand very carefully the offerings of the from the cloud providers. Then only it will be easy to decide that which kind of service model will suit to your company. So this is all for the service models, and we will see more in our upcoming lectures. Thank you very much.